Kinks here. Today I'm going to be talking about what to say to people when they are like, why do we even need feminism anymore? Isn't it totally irrelevant?
How lucky I found this video. I ask that same thing all the time. Although it's more of a statement when I say it, but go on, tell me. Why do we need feminism?
I live in a very middle class, very white, quite small city where people are quite close-minded about being anything different to what they perceive as the norm.
How rare that such an environment would produce a feminist. Usually they come from third world countries or the inner city struggling to make ends meet.
But it's not really racism or homophobia that I deal with the most. It is people taking the piss.
Seriously, feminists are against urination now? You're ridiculous.
Ridiculing me, putting me down for being a feminist, for believing that men and women aren't currently equal, and that they should be.
Well, I sense from you saying you deal with homophobia that you're a lesbian. You also say you deal with racism, although you appear to be white, but I don't know. Back to the homophobia and you being a lesbian. Well, if one man equals one woman, then logically, you and I should have sex. Now, if that doesn't seem like something you'd want to do, then men don't really equal women, do they?
I get so frustrated by this, and it leads to vaguely amusing but silly situations like the following.
Feminism leading to silliness. Now I've heard everything.
So I'm hanging out with my two best friends, one guy, one girl, I'm talking about feminism, and
Now I wasn't there, but the way I envision this scenario is you talking about feminism and them kind of wishing you'd shut the fuck up about it. But I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that one.
My friends are just completely adamant that I'm being ridiculous and that everything between men and women is just fine and peachy and there's nothing to be done.
Someone who's honest with you then. That's a good friend.
I tried to explain like some of the basic divides between the genders, but they just weren't having it. Their attitude was, I can't see the patriarchy, so it doesn't exist.
You know, there's just so many parallels between Christianity and feminism. For instance, your average YouTube Christian will say, the atheist says he don't believe in God 'cause he can't see no God. Completely ignoring all of the other reasons not to believe that shit. Like your patriarchy thing. I'm sorry, go on.
So I threw them out of my house.
Wow. A feminist has her deeply held religious convictions challenged by other people's ideas, and rather than engage them, she forcibly ejects them from the conversation. Now I have really heard everything. I can die having heard everything.
Yeah, not cool. I know, total overreaction. But
Don't be too hard on yourself, sweetie. By feminist standards, that was practically manly stoicism.
their apathy just saddened me to the extent that I didn't really want to talk to them at that moment.
Why, I was just saddened by the atheist's total apathy about the disposition of his immortal soul. I just don't understand how he couldn't care. I don't think you mean apathy. The word you're searching for is incredulity.
In retrospect, it was not the most mature reaction and not the right thing to do. And luckily, we soon made up. It was all cool in the end. Anyway, now when people ask me why feminism needs to exist, I don't chuck them out of my house.
But do you wonder why people so often ask that?
I give them some of the following answers. Because, like, for a long time, when people challenged me on my views, I found it really hard. Like, I froze up and didn't know what to say. And that
Always a good indicator of having a logical, well-thought-out stance?
isn't really helping anybody, is it? So yeah, reason number one. Money. This argument is genuinely, like, useful for people who don't really give a fuck about feminism or politics.
But what if I don't care about money? You see, I'm a really spiritual kind of guy. I don't care about these material things. Move on to your next point.
And aren't down for like a super detailed discussion of the second sex and the female eunuch.
The second sex? Where's your girl power, girlfriend? Women are the first sex. I've been practicing my black woman head roll. I got it. Oh, God.
It's the wage gap. It's massive. It's gross. Yeah, there's a 17% gap between what men and women are paid for full-time work. And
oh my God, if I give every feminist a few dollars so they can buy themselves something pretty, will they shut the fuck up about this? It's been debunked.
Number 2. Women are largely absent from high-up positions in the public sphere. Like, less than 3% of Fortune 500 companies are headed by women.
You know, you should probably use that for another rant about women being smarter than men, because running a Fortune 500 company, that sounds like some pretty stressful shit. You'd be pretty smart to avoid that. Also, incidentally, are you going to college to get like a business degree so you yourself can be a high-powered CEO of one of these companies? No? Uh-huh. Should probably shut up then.
There are no women in the most coveted jobs in the cabinet at the moment, like Chancellor of the Exchequer, Prime Minister. There's only been one female Prime Minister.
Are you currently going to school, studying political science, schmoozing with important people in important places, you know, so that you can eventually run for, you know, a junior level politician position and then work your way up through the ranks so that you yourself might one day be the prime minister? No? Should probably shut the fuck up then.
Of this country, and the less said about her, the better. Italy, Japan, Russia, America, none of these places have even ever had a female leader.
I've already conceded that women are smarter than men. Leadership fucking sucks. It's a burden. We all know it. You act like it's like some sort of fucking prize.
Women that do get into positions of power are subject to a massive level of scrutiny that just doesn't happen for men.
President Clinton, did you have sex with this intern, Monica Lewinsky? President Obama, are you a secret Muslim? Are you a secret atheist? Are you a secret socialist? Were you even born in this country?
Like, poor Hillary Clinton the other day decided to go on a diplomacy mission and had the audacity to not wear a full face of makeup.
If you're talking about the same trip that I'm thinking of, I think the main scandal was her just totally fabricating shit to make it sound interesting, like bombs and bullets whizzing through the air or some shit. I'm getting kind of old, so I can't really remember the details, but I don't remember anything about makeup. Funny how you honed right in on that, though.
If one of the most powerful women in the world gets bitched at for doing what she wants, what hope do the rest of us have? It's crazy. Number 3. In terms of everyday life, slut-shaming and victim-blaming. It's rife. A third of people in a survey by Amnesty International thought that if a woman has been drinking, if she's drunk, she's wholly or partially to blame for her rape.
You know, I guess I could do my own research. I could go on the internet, look at this Amnesty International survey. I could review the wording of the questions. I could review the methodology. I could do a meta-analysis. I could then try to figure out your interpretations thereof. But I'm lazy, so instead I'm just going to say bullshit.
And over a third think that if she's been flirting, then she's wholly or partially to blame for her rape. No. Just no. You know who is 100% to blame for the rape?
I know this one. Every single man, myself included.
The rapist.
Every single man, I said it.
Guilt lies with the perpetrator of the crime and no one else. And yes, women can be racist too. Racists? Rapists too. But it is overwhelmingly men against women.
Well, yeah, because when women rape men, men don't say, "Oh my god, I've been violated." They go, "Yeah, I totally hit that shit, what's up?" Unless she's hideous, in which case he would say, "I was really drunk, I'm a man, sue me, but I did totally hit that."
I can't even count the amount of times that I've heard guys and other girls shame girls for their sexual exploits, perceived or otherwise.
Okay, you know what? I hate being a grammar Nazi, but you're from the country that invented the fucking language, and none of you girls can use it correctly. It's not amount of times, it's number of times, because each time is a discrete unit, indivisible. Also, perceived or otherwise? No. What you mean to say is real or perceived, because regardless of whether it is real or just perceived, it is still perceived. You cannot shame somebody for something which you cannot perceive. I had some kind of other point. Oh yes, and did you keep track of the specific ratio of men to women slut shaming? Because I'm going to tell you, it's about 98% women doing the slut shaming and 2% men who can't get laid. Forgot to mention that, didn't you?
I mean, I've even done it in the past, and I'm so glad I woke the fuck up and realised that it's not on, like, no. So yeah, there's 3 good reasons to sock at people when they're like, feminism has gone too far or is irrelevant.
Your 3 reasons suck the way old people suck at hockey. I really hope that there are a lot more issues that we haven't even yet touched upon.
And unfortunately, there are a hell of a lot more issues, like, where that came from. We haven't even touched on things like female infanticide.
Oh, well, good. That is a good issue. I mean, it's not good that that happens, but that is a pretty valid issue. Personally, I don't care about infants, but, you know, most people do, so that sounds like a decent issue. Now, what concrete steps are you and your feminist buddies taking to curtail this string of female infanticide? I would like your, your tentative plan.
India, the fact that women in Saudi Arabia aren't allowed to drive, female circumcision.
Obviously not listed in order of importance, driving, then the genital mutilation, so okay. Now, what concrete steps are you and or the feminist organization to which you belong taking to, get women the ability to drive in Saudi Arabia? Or stopping this whole genital mutilation thing? Again, if you could just outline what you're doing, perhaps I could streamline the process. I'm something of a facilitator myself.
Some African countries, people who assert that feminism shouldn't exist anymore need to check their damn privilege if it...
I was just inspired by The Amazing Atheist, when he was making this video to Onision, right? And what he did was he was like, Onision, every time you make a video about vegetarianism, this isn't how the Amazing Atheist talks. I'm just bad at impressions. Every time you make a video about vegetarianism, I am going to buy a cheeseburger and then just throw it in the fucking trash. Let's see how much you care about the animals then, Vato. Man, I suck at impressions. Anyway, from now on, every time that I hear somebody say, check your privilege, I'm going to rape somebody. Word. TTFN.